Hello, I am La Molly, host of Super Sonido here on KUVO, and I am joined by Cruzloma all the way from Ecuador. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having us here. We're actually very excited. We have a really cool set prepared for today.
I can't wait.
So yeah, thank you.
Amazing. Okay, tell us a little bit about the band. How did you guys find each other?
Well, we know each other for a long time. We used to go to the same high school, but we were not friends there. And then we went to college to study music. That's where we got together. So we've been making music for almost 12 years now.
Okay, so you're called Cruzloma. What does that mean? How did you come with that name?
Our city from where we're from, Quito, is actually located right at the foot of a volcano. So it's just there sitting, and the face of the volcano that faces the city is called Cruzloma, and you actually get there if you take what is it called? I don't know, a skyline. Yeah, that's the name. Like cable car. Yeah, I'm just thinking about different things, but yeah, if you take a cable car, it will take you directly to this thing. It's it's known for that, so it's just the name of this.
And what we like about the name, it was also what it represents. It's always looking to the city, to Quito, and yeah, we like that.
So that's kind of like how I feel your music is very much like that natural volcanic element, but looking to the city. Tell me a little bit more how you blend the two worlds.
Oh, so that actually has a lot to do where we grew up. We actually didn't grow up in the city. So that's the funny part, because Quito is divided in sections and valleys. So it's just different valleys that make up, you'll have the metropolitan area, the main area, the city, and then you have all these valleys around the city. And grew up in a specific valley called Tumbaco, which actually is also it's seated close to an extinct volcano now. So we just grew up there. You kind of live a rural life, but is also attached to the city. So I guess that became a really present stimuli all the time with all the things that were happening around us. So you'll be at home we grew up around dirt roads and cobblestone streets, stuff like that. And 20 minutes away, you will go to the city, which is the capital at the end of the day. And it was quite an interesting blend of things that were happening in between these places. So you'll have music inside public transportation that is a music specific to certain sections of society, and then us very into electronic music and very into we studied on a jazz school, because this is that's what you study when you study music. And so we also have that stimuli going on there. Just so many things. And I think we ended up with this, mixed culture, trying to sum it up, what we see in the way we see what's happening around us. I think we did it pretty good, to be honest.
I mean, I would agree.
But, so it came from that, and it came from being very into electronic music, as I said, but also trying to study the music that we were having around us, specifically local rhythms and local music, which is not something that is actually broadcasted massively or anything, or it is, but in a way that kind of happens under your eyes. You don't see it. So it was just very into that, and also collaborating with indigenous communities and also their cultural heritage, which we really appreciate and respect a lot. I think it came from all of this, again, mix of things and this very wild soup. Because we were talking the other day and we realized that Ecuadorians love soup.
That's true. We eat every day soup.
Yeah, everything is soup.
It's always first soup and...
I was thinking about this, and it's maybe these things that we've been creating are different kinds of soups that have been cooking for a while and simmering into different flavors that we have been, picking up from different cultures that we live around and we experience as well.
Well, you got to make sure you try some green chili then, if you love soup.
I don't love soup. That's the thing. That's what we're talking about.
I love soup though. I love
you
soup.
can.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not really into soups.
Okay, so I saw that you guys describe your music as post-colonial bass. What does that mean to you?
It takes me back to the previous answer because it's the same. Yeah, I think bass music was what we were doing at the time in terms of like, electronic music. Speaking like we'll be really into dubstep or really into drum and bass or really into bass music. And at the same time, we were like really into our own rhythms and culture. And I think what we tried to avoid was this kind of like approach towards music where we'll be like, oh, we're just gonna mix it. Like we're gonna take this recording or these people and we're gonna mix it with like this kind of other music that we were making. We actually, what we did was translate all these rhythms and all these languages, like musical languages, into electronic music. And I think that was
It's like our own interpretation of Ecuadorian music. I feel that also like the concept of post-colonial bass, it's also like kind of a search of our identity as mestizos, like where do we belong, and I think that's it.
Yeah, it's kind of like an existential like concept there.
Well, that's the quest for all of us who have like mixed identities, mestizaje, right? Is like, who am I? Where do I fit in? Yeah. Okay. So, Mitos Ritos is your debut album. What was the spirit behind that, and what does that album mean to you?
Well, it's first of all, it's our first album. Like we put so much effort on putting it out that it's our first baby, I guess.
Yeah.
So, it was like a work of 5 years because we started making that album back in 2018, just like first thinking about like the concept, and then after that, we finished the album like in 2020 or even a little bit before, and then COVID happened, so we had to wait like a long time to really put it out. It was kind of a test too of patience.
Yeah.
We had to go through like a lot of like process, like making the artwork, the masters, the videos. So it was a long wait. Like took us like 5 years to really put it out.
Yeah, so I think in terms of it represents the effort of doing it. In terms of art, like in artistic terms, it's just so like I don't know. It's called like Mitos Ritos, which translates to myths and rhythms. And I think as we were doing all this music and we were investigating the things that like we were looking into it, we found out like how much music has changed and how people use music in other ways, specifically in the areas that we live. Is like music is just not mere entertainment, but actually is part of life. It will be for specific activities and reasons. It will be you'll have some chance for like I don't know, nourishing a baby, or like for hunting, or for entertainment as well, which is I think most of music comes from there. But I think we realized that at the same time we're in a very Catholic place, like super Catholic, and Quito has the most well preserved colonial center in the Americas, so in the Latin world. And it was quite interesting because you also are like, you're so filled with rituals all the time, and every ritual has a different interpretation or myth, and so families will have different myths for a same ritual, or like I don't know, like people going into the street and just putting a cross around their necks. We carry a virgin with us all the time, and we're not Catholic, but it's just part of
it's part of it.
Yeah, it's just there, and it's kind of like the vibe and the energy, which I think provides first an aesthetic context, which is really cool because it's just given by the culture, but also provides you with like order and like things, how they work and how we work on this album, like really going into detail, and really you go through a process of like trance, kind of like just really being there. And I think the music speaks for itself. So there's a lot of words, but I think music will speak better for.
Well, I could ask you a million questions all day, but I want to get into it. First, I want you to tell everyone where they can find you, where they can get your album, your music, all of that.
Well, we're called Cruzloma. You can find us on Spotify. We just put out our first EP, Mitos Ritos. And if you want to get the vinyl, you can go to CCK Bandcamp. You can order it there. We are on Instagram too, Cruzloma. Check our music out.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Cruzloma, all the way from Ecuador.
Thank you.